Hello, everybody. This is Jack, and let me know if you hear me well. We have today a special guest. I don't know, you might already guess it because it was in the email, but if you didn't see the email and just joined like every Tuesday at 8 p.m. EST, then we have a very special guest, and you might not guess who it is. Somebody who joined us, and I think the last time it was 6 months ago, something like that. The time flies, and we are now in November. Actually, I was working on another project, and I think October. No, this is not October anymore. This is November. November. So I had a chat with Cynthia yesterday, and we just discussed, you know, how we can help you the best. And I'm always surprised about Cynthia's success. So I say, now, Cynthia, it is getting time what you did the last 6 months, how the last 6 months go, because we know you have a certain system you follow. How is this system going for you? Hi, Cynthia, do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can everyone hear me?
We will get to know in a minute. Yes. So Jeffy said yes, and Patty and Arlene, Corey, everybody say yes. So thanks for confirming that. So how are you doing, Cynthia?
I'm doing great. I'm doing really great. And I have to say, part of the reason why you guys haven't heard from me is I started getting really, really busy with clients. So, so that's a good thing. But Jack wanted me. He's always trying to do anything he can to help encourage us all. And just like a lot of you, I was in that same place with zero clients, a couple of years ago, and so I know how it is, and it's great to have somebody kind of give us encouragement, right? Because even when we know what we're doing, sometimes we doubt ourselves. Even me myself. Even though I've been able to prove some of the things that I've been able to do for my clients, we always get these little ideas in our head, like, what if I can't do it all the time, that kind of thing. But I've been following this one like a little system that I kind of put together myself because I tried to think of, for our prospects out there. Like I had a client just this last week say, I speak brain because that's what they do. I don't speak marketing, and I always try to figure out how can we explain this in a way where they can understand it and find value. So I put together my own little. It's this little system. I feel like it's pretty easy, but in following the steps, it's been able to really help me take on new clients. So Jack asked me, the last time I think I really was on a call was about 6 months ago, and he wanted me to kind of share with you guys, what's happened since then. So, at that time, I was actively, having meetings and doing presentations and, taking on the new clients. So, the great thing is I have, those clients that I've taken on, there have been some changes with some of them, and there've been, and I have to say, it's all been kind of for the better. So, if some of you guys were around about 6 months ago, I had taken on a new client who was in she did like CBD pharmacy, that kind of stuff, and I had given her a big discount. And so, along the way, I've had a lot of learning experiences as well. And so, one of the things that I find is, or what I've found over these 6 months, is the clients that I have given the biggest discounts to have taken the most amount of work and the most amount of my time. And the ones who have been willing to pay the full price trust me and have let me just do my thing. So, I continued on maybe, gosh, about 4 or 5 months, working very, very hard for that client. And she was getting great visibility and getting, new business. So then, of course, she thinks, okay, then I can't afford to pay for this anymore. So I did lose her, which I got to tell you was such a big blessing for me because it opened up so much time. However, she's been calling me now because she moved and things aren't the same. You know, you need to have activity, and she's been calling me and trying to figure out a way where she can pay me again. And I've just kind of been like, okay, well, call me when you're ready. Call me when you're ready, because I'm not in a big hurry to take on. I know now what to expect, right? So now, another great thing that's happened is I had just taken on a personal injury attorney. And the only reason why I got that personal injury attorney as a client is because I developed this little system that I actually created a few slides that kind of share some basics with you guys, so you can kind of get the foundation of what I do. And it's because I followed that and had that all the prep that I had and had it prepared. He had talked to so many different digital marketers, and then he also had worked for a very large firm that paid an agency, a digital agency, to do marketing, and they charged so much. And I got to tell you that he told me the first time that I met with him, and I kind of went through just the discovery portion with him. I kind of gave him an idea as to some of my prices, and he basically said he didn't believe me. He did not believe that I could get any results with those prices because he paid. I was giving him, I think, a $3,000 price per month just to start, and they paid over 5,000 and got nothing. So, so the great thing is, I started him off with about 1,000, and he is now up over 3,000 a month, and he trusts me so much that today he even invited me. He got a new office. He invited me to be on the call with the phone people just to make sure he's getting the right phone and that type of thing. He has another web developer who developed his website, and I've been giving him advice like, we got to make this convert more. And now, I put a retargeting pixel on there, and we've had over 2,300 visitors to his website, but it's not converting because I kept telling them the messaging is so important since the very beginning. However, the Google ads, he's getting more traction with those because I created a landing page for him. So he's at the point he's ready to fire that web developer and have me do it. Now, I feel badly, and I'm trying to see if I can work with her so he doesn't have to do that. However, that's the type of thing when if you use this little system that I use, you don't have to break any bad news to people. You show them how it is. You use the tools, the free tools out there. You can show them how it is. They can see what the reality is. And as long as they get you what you need to do your job, then you're going to be progressing and doing a great job for them. I have, my very first client, when I think last spoke with you, he was spending about 5,000 a month, and now he is up over, let's see, um 8,500 a month, and he's asking for more. So he's asking to increase another 4,000 a month. And I'm like, okay, just wait, we got to do this strategically, but those are fees that he's paying me. Plus, he's paying for his Google ads out of his own credit card and that kind of thing. I had another client that I was doing a trade with, and I really, really like this client. One of the things that I kept finding out about her is every time I ask her something, she just never gets me anything. And I don't know the intricacies of her business. I've done the best I could. I actually got her to second place, and she's completely branded. She's getting calls online, but last month she didn't get a call, and then she starts, like freaking out, and has another friend start working on her Google business profile. So I'm like, okay, there's too many. And then she started putting things in there, and Google started saying, okay, your posts are denied and they're being taken down. This is considered spam. So, this last month I backed off and I said, you know what, I'll work on something else, but I'm not going to work on this because who's going to get blamed for everything? It's going to be me, right? So, anyways, we have our highs and lows. The great thing is I've, gotten rid of two of the most time consuming, um, least, um, least income clients. And my clients that trust me, they're just increasing their spend. And then, I actually have, more people asking to do business with me. And I've just kind of been, I actually will be having one start. He does like home health care. He has a home health care business. So that one should be starting sometime next month. And then I have three more clients that are going to be starting soon that I'm getting prepped with, making sure they have their foundations set up.
It, it
Nothing's
is
perfect,
incredible.
right?
Yeah, it is incredible. It is really incredible. So, what question do we have for Cynthia? So she kind of highlighted her, what's going on in her life, how's her experience with clients. Which question do you have for Cynthia? So, do you have an attorney as client, Cynthia?
Yes, I have a personal injury attorney.
Okay. And how is that client working out for you?
He's working out really well. That's the one who actually is ready to fire his web developer and hire, have me do that as well. And he's the one who actually had me. He's got a new office, his like a bigger office, and now he trusts me so much that he's having me involved. He's even asking me to give my opinion on the type of phones that he buys for the office. So it's going very very well.
So,
He trusts me very completely.
what is your typical calls per client? So your calls. So let's say you earn, you mentioned high amounts like three, four, five, $6,000, but what is your
Mhm.
calls per client?
So of course, there's a cost for my time, which I haven't figured out yet because I live my life and I didn't even show this. I've also traveled at least 6 to 8 weeks of this last 6 months. I've been out of town, traveling all over the place and working as well. So, I haven't quite figured out because I kind of work my business around what
Yeah,
I'm
but
doing.
I'm not sure
But
if
as
you
far as
understand
my
my
cost,
question. But I
but
think the question is how much do you spend on tools, or uh,
um,
how much money do you
so for
spend
the
on
tools.
labor, or those costs to fulfill the service.
Okay, so to fulfill the service, generally I would say if I'm charging 1,000, maybe I'm paying, 100 to 200 for the service. It all depends. As I'm starting to get into the larger amounts, some of the strategies or newer strategies, they've cost me a little more. So for my client that is paying about 80, what is it? He's paying like 8,500 a month. I would say maybe 3,000 is, what I'm paying for the services. So it's, like I still got, I mean, gosh, maybe I'm paying even a little less than that because of course, I'm using your tools, right? Um, but yeah, I have, I'm not paying a lot. I am right now doing my own work, and I'm trying to figure out how to create standard operating procedures. However, I also will be starting a new digital agency in the new year, and I'm going to be starting with a partner who's going to do the fulfillment, and he's been, very, very successful, and I'm going to be doing the sales. So, and we'll be focusing on a specific niche. We're, still identifying that niche, but right now I am just working with people that I like locally, that I really care about, and it's been great. It's been fantastic. Oh, I forgot to mention though. Also, I did take on another client that they're like they do rehabs and wholesaling. It's They're real estate investors out in Virginia, and they were referred by one of my clients where I was doing a trade. So the one that I've just lost, well, they're doing fantastic, and they're on right now they're spending about 1,000 a month, but we're just about to start another strategy that's going to raise them up to like 3,000, and they'll probably be averaging at least 5,000 a month. And then my cost for that will be, let's see, my costs are probably about 500 actually. It'll be about 500 because right now I'm doing a lot of the fulfillment. But it'll be about 500 when have them at about 5,000, and that won't be including what they're paying for their Google ads. So, um, so I have to
So
say, I've been pretty
what
busy.
I hear about you have an ROI of 10. Is that about right? What I hear from your
Yeah,
numbers. So if
I would say
if they pay
about
thousand
eight
dollar,
to
you have a
ten.
cost for $100. If they have a cost for $5,000, you of when they paid $5,000, you have a cost of $500. Is that about right as a ballpark?
That's about right, except for there is a new strategy that I started with my oldest client that is costing me a little more. Um, so that one I maybe have an ROI of maybe half as much, right? Maybe
One
five
of five.
instead of
So $1,000,
exactly.
$200 cost, $5,000,
Mhm.
one of five
You
thousand
got
dollar
it.
cost. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And so that's probably my highest cost as far as, the different strategies that I do. That's probably my highest out of
Now
pocket cost
I
is
see all those questions and I like them, but I think what you really should ask, guys, and I asked Cynthia to do it, uh, to detail a little bit the system, correct? Yeah. Is that not what you really want to do now? How the system works? Nobody asked it for it. So I asked Cynthia yesterday to make a couple of slides to detail, what she's doing, because we are here for training. Of course, we want to hear the success and we want to have clients for $5,000, but only knowing that there are clients around you which willing to pay $5,000, you want to learn how to get those clients, how to please those clients, and what to do with those clients. So, we don't have a whole day and 2 days to really go in details, but at least I asked Cynthia to give us an overview so I don't feel lost, huh? I kind of want to see I want to kind of get a better understanding of Cynthia's system. So Cynthia, let me go to the next slide. And so
okay.
we kind of came up with the it's actually this all strategies. It is not that you have to invent yourself. This is a way of working to have business owner clamoring for your partnership. So actually, what we I think most of us hate is selling. So we don't want to sell things. We want to get liked. And Cynthia came up with a system that she get liked, that they like Cynthia presentation. I don't know how to say it. Don't go too much in details. They like
Mhm.
Cynthia's system, huh? That they get asked back to work for them. So let me go to the next slide, and maybe you can
I'll take
explain
it from here.
globally what your system is.
Okay, sounds good. Hey, so everyone, just so you know, like even this presentation, I know what I wanted to say, and I kind of worked with Jack, and we actually at the last minute yesterday um, went to ChatGPT to get a lot of the ways that these things are being said. So that's that is part of fulfillment, and something that you guys want to keep in the back of your mind. But the key thing is none of us like to sell. I've been in sales, my whole life, and I, don't like to sell. I, that's, it is what Jack said. We want to be liked. And the reality is, all the business sales owners out there, they want to like who they're working with. So the system, the way I developed it is so that I don't have to do any selling at all. And so if you follow this and you get good at this, it will, you're going to see that you're not going to have to do any selling yourself. Now, I got to tell you that when I first started, I spent hours and hours and hours on the research, sometimes a whole day, because I was so new, and it was a new, like when I was just kind of making it up as I went along and figuring out what worked for me. But now my research is down to maybe an hour or two before I even meet with them. And then I'll invest a bit more than that when I'm putting together their plan. But the cool part is, by following this little guideline, you're going to see that you'll be able to know exactly what to do so that they like you. And the key important thing is there are so many digital marketers out there. I meet them all the time, but this will set you apart. So that's one of the key things that the personal injury attorney told me is that he had talked to so many digital marketing agencies. And the way that I explained it and the way that I went through the whole plan for him, he committed that he's going to work with me because he saw that I was completely different than everybody else. So, Jack, let's get to the next slide. So, first thing is you want to find, your ideal clients. Where are they? And we as digital marketers, we have so many different tools where we can email them and text them and all of that, um, because everyone is online. But the key thing for you to find them is to be really personal. So I would say, you know, for me, what's been huge in just getting opportunities where I don't even have enough time and I sometimes put them off is I get invited to networking meetings, or I'm just a member of one networking group that we meet once a week. And that has been ideal because, they get used to seeing you, they see that you're reliable, and then they start hearing about what you're doing for other members, and then they definitely want that for them. So that's for me, that's what's been working really well. So not everybody can go and get out into a networking meeting. So I would suggest, even making phone calls to the key owners, or via Zoom, just really making it personal so that you're not just like everybody else, some random email that, they consider spam. Set yourself apart. Um, because as people, we need and we like personal interaction. Most of us really, really like it, even if we're an introvert, because sometimes I'm an introvert, sometimes an extrovert. Maybe most of the time I'm an extrovert, but sometimes I'm an introvert. But we all do need people, and that is an important part of we're all here together, right? Um, it helps by making it personal. It's going to really help you gain their trust because people always work with people that they know, like, and trust. I'm sure we've heard that all before, but that's the reality. Is if they trust you, they're going to work with you. And I guess here number 5, people do prefer to work with people they trust. So that's how I like to find um, my my prospects. Now, a lot of you might not even have a client yet, so you need just one prospect. So one prospect can be, you can ask around your friends and family and see if there's somebody's with a business. And even, like, I know now I wouldn't do things for free, but you got to be able to prove that you can do what you do. And it, boy, does it give you confidence when you know what you're talking about, right? And you know that you're an expert in what you do. so that if they've talked to other digital marketers, you really know what you're doing. So, maybe you could do like a trade. Like, I've done that before. Maybe you can do a trade. Maybe you can even work on your own agency and follow the steps to, get you in the top three for the Google Maps. Whatever your services are, build your reputation is kind of hard to build, right? When you don't have clients. So you need to get some. So do that. I mean, I did. I started off with one client during COVID, and I got to tell you, he committed to $1,000 a month, and it was just when we couldn't go anywhere. And I did try different things, and I got to tell you, I did some things for free for him, a lot of things for free, because I needed to prove it to myself that it worked, and then I charged him for it. So I would tell him, hey, I'm going to do this for you for 1 month for free, just to prove to you that it works, and then this is the price that it's going to be. And he's like, okay, cool. And he was like thanking me up and down for doing that. So if that's what you guys need to do to get the confidence, go for it, right? Because if you never start, you're never going to get anywhere. Okay. Next one, Jack. Okay, so I mentioned a little bit about how I was able to get these clients that I have is I do a lot of preparation. So prepare like a pro so you'll shine in every meeting, because when you're prepared, it really takes out your nervousness. Even for today, like I decided at the last minute, I'm okay, I'm gonna have some slides. And then I asked Jack, I'm like, here's my 6 slides. Can you put it together? And then I even asked him, can you just be in control of it? Because we get nervous, right? We all get nervous. And so the more prepared you are, the easier it is, so that you can, those nerves hopefully don't show through. At least for me, like I can be so nervous, but whenever I'm prepared, people can't tell. Or I'll even tell them, hey, I got to tell you, I'm a little nervous, um, because we're all human and we all get nervous. So prepping, let's go to the next slide so I can kind of talk to you about that. So you want to use free tools. I prep all the time by looking at the looking on Google. So I use Google like crazy. And the reason why I use Google like crazy, it's free, right? And still 95% of people still go to Google. Even though there are other search engines out there, I use that as my basis, right? So I'll go to Google and I will look up their business. I'll do a search for their company name. I'll do a search for the products and services that they offer. I try to think, if I was a potential client, what kind of problems am I trying to solve? What kind of solutions am I looking for? And I do those searches on Google, and I use always Google Chrome and incognito window, because that way it doesn't have my cache of what I'm looking at, locally. And I always include the city of where they're located. And I use that to kind of take a look. I look at their website, right? It's free to look at their website. And then when I get a little more in depth, like for the discovery meeting, I will do it ahead of time a little bit, but I'll really get in depth. I will use the Google keyword tool, and you can create an account. Yes, you put a credit card in there, but you don't have to have any active campaigns. You create a campaign and pause it right away, and then that gives you access to the Google keyword suggestion tool. And I use that all the time because I'm showing them, okay, if you're going to be spending money on marketing, is it worth it for you to? What should we focus on? What are people looking for? And that's what that does. So I use those free tools all the time. I use them before the discovery meeting, because there are so many marketers out there that don't have no idea who they're even going to meet with. So you just spending a little bit of time looking at their website, checking things. Are their links working? Can you get a hold of them easily? If you click to contact them, what's happening? It's so interesting. I just had, for that home health care company last week. He has a franchise, so he has no control over his website except for his About Me page. And even looking through and looking at his services, well, I noticed there's the cover photo on the number one service that they do was completely gone, and it's all blank, and nobody even noticed. And so I showed him, I'm like, hey, by the way, I'm like, are you controlling this or is this your corporate? Because this is not good. Look, it's completely blank, it's empty. And he had no idea, right? The corporate had no idea. So just the fact that I spent a little bit of time caring enough to look into his business, look at his website, figure out, what I thought I could do to help him, what his competition looks like, that kind of stuff, he's going to work with me. So I do a little bit of that before the discovery meeting, and then after the discovery meeting, definitely go into depth. I will, based on my research, I will form questions that will get to the heart of what they really want. Because it's a heck of a lot easier to give people what they want than to try to sell them what you want to sell them. So I get them talking by asking open ended questions. And like if you have no idea what to say, start with something like, please tell me about your business, and then just shut up and let them know you're going to be taking notes because they will go on and tell you about their business. Then I'll ask them, why did you decide to start your business? Because then that goes into the passion, that goes into even the personality of the business owner. Is that business owner really going to be someone that you want to work with? Because I've had meetings with some, where I've asked them these questions and I could tell right away, my spidey sense is going off and I'm like, this is not going to be a good client for me. And I've turned them down, you know. So you want to really get them talking. Also, you want to find out what makes you different compared to your competition. Because if they're saying the same thing as everybody else, then you might need to help guide them more. And by asking them more questions and helping to guide them more, it gives you what to focus on when you're marketing for them as well, right? Because if they can't set themselves apart, what are you going to do when you're doing their Google ads, when you're optimizing their Google business profile? If they don't even know their own business and their ideal clients, it's going to make your job a heck of a lot harder. And I always do like to ask, one of the key questions. I mean, I honestly ask them tons of questions, but I like to ask them, okay, for every 10 potential clients or customers that you see, how many actually move forward, how many buy, how many become your clients, because that's going to be really important for you and your success. If they have to see 100 different people before they make a sale, maybe you don't want to take them on as a client, right? Because it sounds like something might be broken in their sales system. So, like I said, I take notes because I don't want to miss a thing, because it does become a superpower because they will actually tell you what they need, and it will actually uncover what your path is going to be in providing services for them. So, number one, listen, listen, listen. Um, they in the past, I've done this many times. When we know what we're doing, they can, I can start, they can start saying, talking about something. And I've made this mistake many, many times, is where, oh, I know what could fix that. And I start talking about it, and I, 9 times out of 10, you end up talking them out of it. So, I found that when I go prepared with a piece of paper, or like I have a notebook, right, and a pen, and I let them know, hey, there's so much I could tell you about what I do, but this isn't about me. It's about you. It's about your business. And I would like to ask you questions about you and your business, learn all about you and your business, your best clients, your challenges, your successes. And I'm going to take notes if that's okay, because that's going to help me put together the best plan on what's going to make the most sense for you. So taking notes on their answers, that, like I said, is going to give you a clear path to creating a custom marketing plan for your prospects, because not every prospect needs the same thing. Now, I do have foundational things that I follow that you guys will have a chance to, find out what those foundational things are, that every business owner needs. And then your unique mix of services can be all, your choosing based on what you're trying to accomplish for your clients. But I
So
don't have a lot of different services either. I have some basics, and then I have a few extra that build on those basics.
so we have
I'm
one more
sorry. Yeah.
slide, and I want to know if you listen. So enter yes if you want to see the last slide, which kind of concludes this quick training. So let me ask, everybody is paying attention, have a focus, and see if you're listening and want to see the last slide. So enter yes if you do, and if you're interested in it. Yeah, I need a couple of more yeses from everybody. So everybody is paying attention. I love this. So what you guys think? Huh? Does it help you with understanding this system? I know it's globally, and it's quick, but you kind of get a good feeling about the system. So everybody said yes, and let me go to the next slide. I think it's the last slide, not?
It's almost, yeah,
Yeah.
it is more lax, and then we have the questions slide, right? So you want to lead discovery meetings that turn maybes into heck yes, right? So so let's look at the last one. There should be one more after that. Okay. So when I'm doing the research, I'm gonna actually make a list. Before I meet with them, I make a list of what questions I want to ask. And, I mentioned to you, I get nervous just like anybody else. So when I first started doing this, I got to tell you, I printed the questions out on a big piece of paper and I had them in large font because I would get so nervous. I felt like I couldn't even read the question. See, kind of like how I have, like here, you have big font, right? I had big font and then space to write the answers in. And so when I first started this process, that's what I did until I got really comfortable with it, right? And so what I'll do now is I have now a little notepad or a little notebook that I keep in my purse. And so I'll put the name of the business and the person I'm meeting with. And ahead of time, I might jot down some questions that I want to ask them because I've already done the research. I've already looked at their website, their presence and that kind of thing. So the reason why I say be strategic with the questions that you ask at your discovery meeting is because you want to think about, okay, they have this problem. This problem might be it's not easy for people to reach them through their website, or their website is boring, right? Nobody's going to even want to look at it, or no, nobody even knows their website's there because Google doesn't know they're there. So you have these different types of problems and you have solutions, right? So you want to ask questions and bring light to those problems. So that's what I mean by being strategic with the questions that you ask, because you've already done some prep work. You've already cared enough to look at their business, look at what's going on for them, so you can kind of ask them those questions. I was referred to a financial planner, and this was very, very important. I was so glad that I did the research. I talked to her over the phone, I did my discovery meeting, and then I did all the research, and it was shocking what I found. And so when I met with her in person to present the plan, I showed her everything, but one thing she didn't realize is the year before, the California, or no, the Secretary of State, no, I'm sorry, SEC. the SEC was filing a lawsuit against her. You know, she had no idea. So, of course, that wasn't going to be a good prospect for me, a good client for me, because that was going to be a big hurdle to overcome. That, and she said, well, she called herself a financial planner, but she no longer had her licenses and that kind of stuff. So, you really want to know who you're going to be working with, okay? And then being strategic, okay? And then by doing that, you can create marketing plans that are so good that your clients are going to be begging for your magic touch because they see a clear path. And so when I put together my marketing plan, I have step one, step two, step three, step four, and I have some text in there explaining, so it's easy, little bullet points explain why this is important. It gives me talking points to talk about. It gives me a place to kind of show them that kind of stuff, and it helps them by actually seeing, and then of course I have the research to back it all up. I start off with that, when I'm presenting the plan, so that they're seeing, oh my gosh, they're agreeing that they have these problems. They see what their problems are and they understand it. Okay. And then you're going to align all that information that you gathered with your research and with asking them questions. You align that and you put that together so you have this incredible marketing plan presentation that they're just like, okay, yes, I need to get started. I need to get started right away. So I think our next
Yeah.
slide is
So
questions, right?
yeah, this I want kind of wanted to ask actually also for myself. So to on the attendees to what if you now review those the today's training, the short training, what is the one thing you like the best? Where you say, that was an eye opener. This is this is what I wanted to do, or this is what I should change, or this is what was very valuable to me. So actually, Jeffrey already gave. So I would like everybody say, your your uh, your what you want to remember from today's training. So Jeffrey said, big lesson. The answer will give you a clear path to create a custom marketing plan. I like that. Listen to your prospect. Somebody else, Joe. So what was your takeaway today? Don't sell them. Let them sell themselves. Yeah, she had been in sales and don't like to but get it done. Yes. So actually, that is actually true. So Cynthia had been kind of in sales, but never liked sales. But she found a system that she doesn't need to sell directly. She kind of is a presenter. And because of the presenter, the way how it get presented, she get the sale. Huh?
Exactly. Yes. And I got to tell you, I also start off when I do the plan presentation. Another thing I always tell them is this marketing plan that I prepared for you is my gift to you, and you can decide to work with me. You don't have to work with me. It's not going to change, our relationship. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you don't work with me. So I want you to know that this is my gift and there's no pressure, but I know what I'm doing. So, and that's basically how I start off. So, and then I go into the research. So,
So there is no pressure uh, getting started in the presentation, and there's no pressure really closing and the closing of the presentation. But because you show them so much value, you you gain their trust, and because you gain their trust, they want to work with you.
exactly.
Fred
So,
said, I liked the marketing plans, and Brian really is all over you. He likes you. And Gear said, so basically you need to research a potential client before you talk to them. Not before you to talk to them, when you do the presentation. So you kind of,
I will do. I will. So I do want to clarify on that. I do a little bit of research ahead of time before I have my before I actually attend the discovery meeting, right? Because you'll talk to them, right? You might talk to them, and before I schedule something to actually get their undivided attention to learn about their business and have that discovery meeting, yes, I will do. I'll prepare for that discovery meeting.
so you ask the right
Totally.
questions, huh? And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So exactly. So that I can ask the strategic questions, right? I
yeah.
mentioned strategic questions to align your services on how you can help them because you've already identified some problems.
So Cynthia and I created a course. We call it the High Demand Consultant course. It will get released this weekend. So if you're interested, then don't miss your email. So always get the Monday's emails, Jack. I haven't seen your email. Yeah, then open it. And so we will share it with you. But kind of go. How many chapters does it have? How many modules? I think 12.
Oh my God. Okay. So some of you, I don't know if some of you attended the live boot camp
Yeah,
that Jack and I did earlier,
Patty.
but
Patty's on the
basically what
line. Yeah, Patty.
So basically so what it is now it's a course, right? Because it's not a live boot camp. But Jack wanted me to break this down step by step by step, and there is a lot. So basically, it's like you're looking over my shoulder. I'm trying. Jack, I will give you an idea. I'm gonna. Oh, I think I found it. Let's see here. Uh, we have gosh, 15 different modules in there. So what's cool about it is we had done it over the course of 2 days, and I spent a lot of time, and I went from the very basics. Of course, like when we first even started off, somebody I know they were complaining like, oh, this is like where to different ideas on where to find prospects, right? But I tried to make it so that you can be a complete beginner, so maybe it might be a little boring in the beginning, just like all the different places to find. But it, starts going into step by step by step everything I do. And we even had some attendees that gave sample businesses. And so I did it live where we were doing the research and I was kind of looking over the shoulder, doing the research together, putting together the questions, like I talked about strategic questions and that type of thing. We have templates in there. We have the I think a basic questions, the generic, more open-ended types of questions, so you guys can get used to asking them those questions and you can create your own questions. And then we also have the template, like my basic template. I use just a Word document or a Google Doc. And, I have these little bullet points and I have, some specific foundational things that every business has that everybody should have. And so the great thing is, I use, like a lot of Jack's tools. There's the reputation in there. We have a lot of tools out there. So I kind of go through what I feel are the foundational um, things that every single business needs to be able to be found online. And by following that strategy and using the tools to do that, that's how my clients are getting new clients and are very very happy with their services.
So the
So that's what this course is going to
so the
be.
$1,000 question is, do you have an an example of a marketing proposal, like what you go how what you going to offer to fix the problem, the provider
Exactly.
service?
Yes. So I do have that as a template, and not only do I have that as a template, I actually go in and I pretend like I am presenting this plan to a potential prospect, and I kind of go through the words that I use and how I start off with the research and all of that. And I go through everything step by step.
So I feel that is kind of what I see most are missing is how to present a marketing plan, how to charge your service the right way, how to present it in a way that they're willing to pay $1,000 per month or more. It is not about the service. The service is good, you know. We of course we're going to cover which service you're going to provide and what is easy to fulfill. But it is also the way how you present it, and you can just fill in the blanks with these templates for your prospect and have a nice presentation, have a nice offer.
Well, Jack, we actually do have the services because you have tools to help provide those services. So,
Yeah,
even in the course, Jack has the resources for if you don't know how to do that, if you don't have that, like I talk about which tools are, completely necessary that I use all the time, and Jack has most of those tools. So those are in there. So even if you don't know how to do it, Jack has those resources in another section, I
yeah,
think in the resource section in the
correct.
course.
So you basically you don't have to do anything. That is kind of if you go for that route. But I think what is very valuable, what is part of the course, are the templates, how to create and present a presentation, how to um, create the how to how the offer template, the marketing plan, which kind of the marketing plan is. I don't know how you say it, but it's kind of the invoice. Yeah, is how it is worded. So you're going to say, okay, this needs to get done, this needs to get done, this needs to get done, huh? And then you add, you kind of build it up modular, and each module has a price tag. And then the client can say, okay, I have a limited budget, or the client say, I want to have it done all, and then you end up with a $5,000 client, or you end up with $1,000 client. But that's the beauty of having all those templates in the core, so you don't need to invent the wheel anymore. So if you feel I'm not good in presentation, if you feel good, I kind of want to have a copy and paste template. If you feel that you need help with fulfillment, this all it is kind of a menu card where you can select from. So and the then the
One
one
thing that I
thing the
wanted
one
to,
thing I
I'm sorry,
really
Jack.
like from Cynthia system is the way how she presented is not the selling part, is that they're going to ask Cynthia when can you start. Are you still there, Cynthia, with your audio?
Yes, sorry, I'm here.
Yeah,
Um, Sorry, I had to clear my throat. One of the things I wanted to mention, the great thing about this is, in our industry, there's the technology is changing so quickly, so very, very quickly. But the great thing about if you learn this system, it doesn't matter how technology changes. It's always going to give you the edge across and give you advantage against all the other digital marketers out there that are just trying to sell the latest, greatest thing, and they're not focusing on the potential client. They're not focusing on the business owner. This is going to give you the skills that you need to focus on them and present something to them that makes sense and that's going to set you apart from 99.9% of everybody else.
good. Any questions which we haven't answered for you? Does the course go into Google Business Profile fulfillment? Yes, it does. A kind of now fulfillment is a big word, but it use Google Business Profile as part of one of the modules to
Right.
check
And
on.
then also, Jack, you have a course on how to do how to
Correct.
do the Google Business Profile. So if you want to learn how to do it yourself, you can, Jack, I think you probably
But
have that in your name.
we reveal how to check we reveal how to check Google Business Profile on a way that the business respond, can you fix it for me? So
Hmm.
that's the secret. So we kind of touch base on many things in a way that they say, how can you fix it for me? Do you feel do you get that point? So we touch base on many services, what are what the business needs, what the business are not perfect with it, and they will ask you, how can you fix it for me? So it's kind of you touch base on it, but you don't fix it before they're going to ask you for it. And then yeah, what I said, you end up with an ROI from 10 or 5. ROI for 5 is really good actually. 10 is a unbelievable. Do you know any business what have such high ROI? Every brick and mortar business are happy to earn a little bit more than break even, correct? That is so. That is such nice. We just need a computer and an internet connection and some good training. That's all what you need. So really, and of course, if you don't take action, you will get done nothing. That is with everything. If you're not willing to open to learn something or to read something or to adapt to something, then you will get nowhere. And so the course is 2 days. So you could learn all of them in 2 days. Probably you want to see a replay. So let's say in 4 days you are a specialist. You are certified high demand consultant. That's what I feel. If you watch everything 2 times, then it probably sticks, and you always have access to it anyway. It comes with those templates, so you can use them over and over again. And with that said,
That's what I.
we are in an hour. So if I didn't answer your question, don't feel bad. Send me support@jackhom.com. Check your email if you're interested in the weekend. We will send out the weekend deal. And I hope you enjoyed today's training. And I look forward to see you on the next training call. Thank you so much.